Hi, I'm Tom Spiggle with the Spiggle Law Firm, where we represent people who've been fired or afraid that they might be. Welcome to the Spiggle Spotlight, where we will talk about what's going on in the news with employment law. And I am thrilled to be joined today by an attorney in my office, Ashley Wilson. Ashley, what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about AI, artificial intelligence. So it's been in the news a lot recently for a lot of different reasons, some good, some bad. Most recently in employment law, the EEOC recently gave guidance about how to use AI and cautioned employers who use AI in their hiring practices. Some employers are going to be using AI to find who are the best applicants for a certain position, but it is found that sometimes it can be unreliable. Sometimes AI will have a disparate impact on certain groups, and that's something that employers could then potentially be held liable for.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. I mean, AI is everywhere now. I mean, it's been around for a while, but it's really kind of burst on the scene with Chat and GPT. And while there are many, as you point out, many positive benefits to AI and what it will mean for the workplace, there are some things we need to watch out for, and particularly in employment, with employers using AI to screen applications and to be really and to become even more involved in the interview process with AI rapidly being able to interact with humans. And I don't think we're too far off from an AI generated face interviewing someone for a job position, and the AI analyzing the tone of voice, the way people talk, and that offers some upside. But the downside, as you point out, is AI is not perfect. For now, it's only as good as the information we put into it, and so AI can be biased, just like a human being can, not with the animus, right? Because AI doesn't have that piece of it. But when you mention the word disparate impact, like we're talking about, like it affects one category of people more than the other. Are there things that AI is keying onto that, for instance, mean that older workers aren't selected for a job because they're being screened out, or people of color, or any number of things that AI might be picking up on that can affect people in a discriminatory way.
That's exactly right. And AI really is only as good as those who create it, as well as the information that it is fed. I remember my first experience or my first knowledge of AI was back in 2016. Microsoft had actually created an AI chatbot named Tay that it let loose on Twitter. It was a completely new bot, and it allowed the Twitter users to interact with it and sort of decide its personality. It did not end up very well. It became extraordinarily racist, which is something that employers need to always be. The EEOC is saying employers need to always be vetting the AI. They need to really check with who created the AI, how they created it, and if they've used a test for disparate impact. The EEOC has a rule of thumb. It's not a perfect test, but the rule of thumb is if a suspect group or a certain group that you specify is only being chosen for a job less than 80% of the time as the highest chosen group, then there may be a disparate impact on that group, and that is a possible indicator of discriminatory treatment by the AI. This is a similar test that was used back in the George W. Bush era when they started using personality tests and Myers-Briggs tests for screening applicants. But like I said, it's only as good as the person using the test and if they know how to use it.
Yeah, and that's, so just for folks who don't necessarily know, the EEOC is the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission. You can find them at eeoc.gov. It's a federal agency charged with overseeing many of the federal anti-discrimination laws, and they will, the agency issues these sorts of technical guidance. Can be a great resource for employees too. So you go to eeoc.gov and you can find everything. It's not the most user-friendly website, but it's got a lot of information. If you're willing to poke around a little bit, you can find this guidance. And I think it's important, when the EEOC issues this, employers can't just say, throw up their hands and be like, well, the AI did it, right? we didn't know, like, the AI did it, and the EOC is trying to put some guardrails on that and saying, no, employers, you have some responsibility to make sure that these AI tools, powerful as they are not screening out people on a discriminatory basis, based on some rule that the employer is not even necessarily aware of, and that kind of ratio analysis that which I thought was helpful that you raised, that's in the guidance, can give an employer, a heads up, like, hey, something may be a little off of this, and it's the employer's responsibility to check into it. So I suspect we'll see cases on this percolating through the system pretty soon. But it's an important thing to keep in mind. AI is here. It's not perfect, and the EEOC and other agencies are going to be increasingly issuing guidance on this topic.
Yeah.
Well, Ashley, thank you so much. This has been a fantastic and interesting topic. I'm sure we'll be talking about it a lot more, and I'll let you get back to the next thing on your desk.
All right. Well, thank you very much. It's been fun talking.
Absolutely.